EMS one time, he fell and hurt his head, and the EMS guy, they took him to the hospital in San Antonio, and he had to go to the 13th, 14th floor or something, and he'd never seen an elevator. And the guy from the EMS, his name is Bill Thomas. And Bill Thomas weighs about 350 pounds. He's 5'9". And he's big guy. And so they get to the elevator and the door opens. Ed goes, I ain't getting in there. And he says, you got to go in there. So we got to go to the 14th floor. He goes, I ain't getting in there. Ain't there some stairs somewhere? He says, yeah. By the time they got to the 14th floor, Bill Thomas had to be taken in for an EKG. He was almost dead. Ed was in perfect condition because he'd been riding his bike all the time. There's a guy in my hometown. He just rides a bike around, weathered face and calloused hands. He's got a belt buckle big as a frying pan. He ain't seeking wealth or fame. Eddy is his name. Now the first time that I saw Eddy, I thought he'd passed away, because he was laying in a wheelbarrow out behind the War Horse Cafe. I ran inside. I yelled, there's a guy out back. I think he's dead. The sheriff said, no, he's just sleeping, boy. That there is Eddy. There's a guy in my hometown. He just rides his bike around. He's a self-appointed security guard. Checks the locks and the doors after dark. But I would trust him with my life. My favorite dog, my pocket knife. Eddy, he lost his whole family back in 1968. They headed home in their old wagon. The hour had gotten late. Somewhere out on Yancey Highway, this car came around the bend. There were no lights in that old wagon. That was the end. But not for Eddy. There's a guy in my hometown. Just rides his bike around. Yeah, he spends a lot of time at the coffee shop, but he never has to pay for a single drop. Now when Eddy's gone, one thing's for sure, divine won't be. Divine anymore. You shouldn't judge a man, try to measure his true worth by the money in his pocket, or the stains upon his shirt, or by the lack of some diploma, maybe the hat upon his head. Cause if you do, you'll always be wrong when you meet a guy like Eddy. There's a guy in my hometown. He just rides his bike around. He's got an 8-track player mounted on the handlebars. Anybody still have an 8-track player in here? Anybody?
I got some tapes if you want to buy them.
I don't want to buy them. If you give them to me, I'll take them.
We'll talk.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk if you're going to sell them. No, they have to be free. Nobody buys 8-track tapes. You have to give them one. No, cheap is free. Yeah, not, nothing. Ed pays nothing for an 8-track tapes. He's the only guy I know that still has an 8-track player. It's a Motorola. It's white. It's mounted on the front of his bike there, and he's got some headphones and an extra battery on the back, and he listens to the same tape over and over again. And you stop him and you go, Ed, what are you listening to? And he'll go,